In this, the last of our pizza cutter assembly videos, we're going to bring the sub-assemblies and the main body component together to form our detailed model of our pizza cutter. So let's create a new document to do that. So create document, and we're going to call this pizza cutter assembly. And once we're into the modeling window, click on the assembly tab, and we'll bring in our first part. So click on insert and other documents, my on shape, and in my pizza cutters folder. Now the first part I'm going to bring in is my main body. Because I've played around with it already, it will have a version. Just let it come in, click the tick, then right click on it and select fix. So that's the main body in. Now it can get a little bit overwhelming if you bring in too many parts and too many sub-assemblies, so I'm going to bring them in one at a time, and we're going to look at some a slightly more advanced way of creating a mate between two different parts as well. So we've got the body in. Let's insert our next part. So we go other documents, my on shape, and we go to the pizza cutters folder. We will bring in our guard end sub-assembly first. So let's click on that. Now under here, suddenly it's going, oh, nothing's available. That's because we're under Part Studio, and this is an assembly. So click on the assembly, and we can bring that in. That'll do for the moment. So let's assemble this. So this tube effectively fits over here, but we fixed this part in. So let's go with a fasten mate. Zoom in. Our orientation is okay, so we can select that edge. Remember, we don't have to try and click on that. If we highlight the edge and we get our mate connector selected, we can then just left click and it selects that one. And if we come around here, again we've got that mate connector selected. Click on that. And it lines it up. Remember, it's left some parts behind, but that's okay. It's just moving that for a preview. Click the tick to say we're happy, and the other parts have moved. So far, so good. Let's add in the back component, or the back sub-assembly. So we'll close that dialog, insert, other documents, my on shape, pizza cutters, and we'll go for the hook end sub-assembly. And again, doesn't appear there. Make sure we click on assembly. There's the part, and because I've used it already, it won't need me to come up with a version. There we go, it's inserted it. Took a little while. Okay, so this assembly, I might want to rotate round so it's in the right direction. So click on the assembly, and I'm just going to drag that round 90 degrees. I could type in 90 degrees, click away when it's done. And again, as the previous, it's going to be a fastened mate. Just use the right mouse button to spin around a little bit. I pick that edge, it's picking up the center of that ellipse, which is what I want to mate with this one. And again, it's come up there. It's done the preview without all the parts, but then it puts it all in together. So we don't want another one at the moment, and I should be able to hide that component, and we can see how the two parts click together inside. If we look over here, part 1 is frosted out. If I right click on there, I can now go show, and that part goes back in. Okay, let's add in the last sub-assembly. Now the last sub-assembly parts have already been created for you and been put together as an assembly. So again, you'll need to download those onto your computer and then put them on your account. And it's in imported parts, and it's the disk sub-assembly. So I'm going to click on that. Go to assembly and pull that over. Click on it and click on it. Don't drag it over. Okay, now if I go to fast and make this, all of the different make connectors are in the wrong place for what I want. I want to be sort of lining up here. So what I can actually do is I can add a make connector to this. Before I do that, I'm going to orientate it in the right direction. So I'm just going to rotate that round 90 degrees. And then I'm going to use the mouse button to spin that around. And I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to be looking at this edge here. So up here we've got a tool that allows us to insert a make connector. So I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to put it on the middle here. There we go. Click that in. Now, if it was orientated slightly differently, I can choose to rotate it, but what I do need to do is move it. So I can rotate it and I can choose what axis to rotate it around, and you can see we've got 3 coloured axes on there lining up with these, but I can also move it. So theoretically I want to bring that down in the Y direction, which is the green arrow. So we should be able to change that by 7.5. If I press tab, it should update, and that's gone in the right direction, but in the opposite direction to what I want. So let's change that to minus 7.5 and update it, and there you go. It's put it in the middle there, so it's lined up in the middle of that kind of face there. So click the tick to say that I'm happy with that, and now I can do my fixed mate as I would have done before. So I can zoom into here, I can pick that point as that mate point, and then I can select the mate connector that we've just put in. Again, for the preview, it's jumped over and left the other bits, but that's okay, we know that's right, and then it's pulled over. So let's just go over to isometric and close the dialog, and we can marvel at our finished, detailed pizza cutter model. Now we could create detailed drawings from this for a third party to manufacture or for ourselves to manufacture, but we also have a set of components there that we could 3D print to allow us to make a physical model that we could actually get stakeholders to hold and possibly use as